Hey everybody, welcome to Neil Talks. My name's Neil and it's time to talk Fringe. I've reached this point in this show, which I'm loving, that I have no idea whether each coming episode is going to be central to the through line, like a couple of episodes ago, Bound, where we outed Agent Loeb as a mole, or whether it's just going to be another weirdness of the week, like last episode, the no-brainer, that only slightly touches on the greater mystery underlying the world of Fringe. And I kind of like that. You don't need to progress on a show that's got 100 episodes. You don't need to progress that main through line every week, especially in season 1. So you're kind of keeping the audience on their toes. You're still allowing room for new people to discover the show on a weekly air schedule. Back in the times when that really mattered on network TV. It's like you have to make the show as accessible as possible for as long as possible for it to find its audience. So I'm cool going on that ride. But it means each week when I do a reaction, I have no idea what to expect next. This one's called The Transformation. It could be integral to the main storyline. With a title like that, it makes you think maybe it is, but transformation can apply to anything. Change is the one constant in the universe. So let's see what this one's all about, guys. Episode 13 from season 1, The Transformation. Oh, we're back on a plane to begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will soon be starting our in-flight movie.
Are we going back to the pilot, or is this a different flight? The leg room between these seats, my goodness. Advanced technology. Capture. Seems dangerous. Uh-oh.
You should put keys on your back.
Excuse me?
It's an old wives' tale to stop the bloody nose.
Yeah.
Keys on your back?
It's all bull.
Don't leave your book out. Seems like an important notebook. Why are you checking your teeth like that? That's really weird. What? Okay, I'm intrigued.
There's something happening to me that I don't have the time or the permission to explain to you.
What is it?
You need to listen to me. We will die, all of us, if you don't do what I say. Do you have any weapons? A gun? Go call the captain. I'm going into that bathroom. You keep me in there. You keep that door closed.
He's trying to protect the passengers.
And what you see isn't me anymore. You keep that door closed.
So this guy's gonna transform. Okay. Presumably this has happened before. Maybe not to him, but he's seen it happen to others. And he keeps checking his teeth. Oh, yeah, he's losing his teeth. Gross.
Please remain calm. Everything's gonna be just fine.
Oh my god. Okay, he's a mutant.
The captain says we should restrain him, but I've only...
Whoa. He's a giant porcupine beast. This show, like, it's amazing how little I'm fazed by that at this point. It's like, okay. Curious. That's interesting. Is that the same plane, presumably? It's awfully low. Yeah, oh my god. Whoa, something came off it. Or jumped out of it. Damn.
Give me what else you have here. Take that. All right.
Oh, the engagement ring.
Wash that off. Is this Mom's?
It's from John.
Your partner, John?
Yeah.
You told me that you guys were...
He was bad. And whatever was between us was a lie.
Now I have to kill
I
you.
thought Greg was a jerk.
Oh, Greg is a jerk.
Yeah. Greg is a jerk.
Frickin' Greg.
Whatever happened up there, I'm guessing has something to do with what I'm about to show you.
Zach Whedon. Joss's brother or something?
I will say this. Our friend here didn't start out this way.
So the official word right now is engine failure. The pilot tried to bring it in for an emergency landing.
Does she know him?
Failed to engage. The pilot's lost.
She knows him. Why is she stopping on him?
It's a horror show, John.
Oh. John knows him.
You find something?
Yeah, call it my gut.
John's memories are her gut.
Possums have 15 mammaries, unlike most mammals who have an even number of nipples. Hence the 1/2 rule. The typical number of young in the litter is usually equal to half the number of nipples on the animal.
Except in very rare circumstances.
Extraordinary cases when the young far exceed the number of nipples. There's something hard inside here.
In the palm of the claw of the palm?
Tumor?
No, it's the chip. Why
Why
are they in the palms of the hands? The DEA agent, she had one in the same place. Seems like such a weird place to put things. In a part of the body that moves so much.
Done.
You would
Back to the
constantly
file
be
of
aware of
Bowman's
something
US
under
clients.
your skin like that. The size of a quarter in the palm of your hand.
You have to get the money lined up fast.
I know this guy too.
Daniel Hicks. He owns an import-export company based in Chelsea. We need to bring him in for questioning.
It's your gut again? What's going on, Liv?
Do you trust him enough to say?
John Scott and I shared consciousness. Some of his memories are still in my head.
Okay. I'll bring him in.
God, Charlie's trusting.
Despite the 1,000 questions I have in my head right now, I'm gonna bite my tongue.
Such a good guy. Which is why I suspect he's going to do a major heel turn.
Even if the plane hadn't crashed, he wouldn't have survived the transformation. And
we found something in his left hand.
Yeah, she knows.
Look, I'd like to know what this is all about. I run a clean business.
How do you know Marshall Bowman?
No one calls their business a
banker
clean business
overseas.
unless it's a dirty business.
Why, has he gotten into some kind of trouble?
He was on board that plane.
I think you have me mistaken for someone else.
Your nose is bleeding.
Uh-oh.
We have a box of tissues, please?
Walter, what's happening?
Same
The
thing.
same thing that happened to that man in the airplane. I may be able to suspend the process.
No! Not yet. Not until he talks. Who dosed you?
Okay. The first guy asked for sedatives, so he knew what effect it would have. I didn't catch the name he said. Conrad?
So far, there's no mention of a Conrad in John's old files either.
Okay, so we don't know who he
Why don't
is.
you let me take a turn?
Get to it, Astro. Oh, she gonna check his hand. That makes total sense, yeah.
I like cutting.
I like cutting.
We've seen one of these before. Did the NSA ever determine what it was for?
He didn't send it to the NSA.
I want authorization to exhume John Scott's body. I think he may have one of these on him, too. I think he was working with Bowman and Hicks.
His body isn't exhumable because it's in massive dynamics
Well, then
basement.
make it possible.
Come clean.
You can't dig up John Scott's body and none of the disc. It didn't go to the NSA.
Where did it go?
Yeah.
Massive Dynamic is money to develop technologies generations beyond that of the U.S. government.
For what it's worth, it was not my decision to keep this from you.
Was it the leaf on their screen the last time, too?
While he may appear to be alive, I assure you he is not. We believe that the information stored in the disk's self-destructs when the disk's host dies. But the small amount of information we were able to gather seems to implicate Agent Scott as part of a bioterrorist cell.
Therefore connected to Loeb and Jones.
And our best lead is a chemist whose name we don't even know.
It gets worse.
I just got word that Conrad's planning on selling this virus.
What? When?
I don't know.
Time to go back in the
you know
tank?
how dangerous this is.
Tell Walter to prep the tank. I'm going back in.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you can prevent a virus like that from getting out into the world, I get it.
You okay?
Yeah.
Walter seems okay with it. He was
Alright.
so against it the last time.
Here come last 5 steps.
Save your fingers, close with care.
1.
Hotel room hookup?
This is where we used to meet,
Yeah.
John and I. This is crazy.
Absolutely. This will never happen again.
No.
First time?
Don't worry, he can't see you. Remember, you're observing a memory.
Yeah, check that part in your hair, buddy.
Hey, Liv.
Oh. He sees.
Olivia, what's happening?
John's talking to me.
That's not possible, Olivia. He can't see you.
It's not just a memory. It's his consciousness.
I miss you.
Don't move. You were working with a man named Conrad. He developed a biological weapon. I want to know who he is and who he's planning on selling it to.
Liv.
No!
What just happened?
You kill the host of your... Kill a consciousness within your mind? What? Oh, man. I don't even want to imagine what that does to your mental integrity.
Walter?
I feel like we
Olivia.
shot in this alley in Person of Interest. In the pilot.
I want answers, John.
There he is.
Conrad?
Conrad. And that's me. If I didn't know I had him in my sights, I could have taken him out right then and there. I let that monster get away. I
Jones
didn't know
wanted
it was him.
Conrad dead.
What mission?
NSA, secret task force. So was I.
Trust this?
I don't believe you. If that's the truth, then help me. Tell me where the sale's going down.
He died before the sale.
Hicks would know. You need to talk to Hicks. He was privy information.
Oh.
He has.
John?
You have to pull her out.
John!
30 cc's of dextroamphetamine.
Dextroamphetamine? How close to methamphetamine is that?
We don't know if the antidote's working yet.
We could try it and see.
You want to wake up Hicks. If Hicks and John were working with Conrad, then maybe John is using you to tip Conrad off.
Well, now you've got to trust your real gut.
You are one of the best judges of character I've ever met. What's your instinct?
Yep.
Prep Hicks.
An experiment.
Okay.
Exhilarating.
Astrid is also a secret NSA agent. That smirk of hers.
Well, I can't guarantee it will actually work. I do have a recorded IQ of...
196.
Irrelevant.
Really?
Now we need your help.
The prospective buyer of this weapon landed in the United States this morning. 0700 hours, O'Hare Airport, and we were there.
That's
That
the
suspect is
buyer?
now in custody, and no surprise, 21 refuses to cooperate.
Okay.
No raid will be ordered until Agent Dunham has visual on the weapon. When she does, she'll give the go signal. That signal will be...
Christmas.
Okay. So who's...
Spotted the seller.
Are we gonna find out who Conrad is? I mean, we know these are just intermediaries, right?
You didn't have to come with me, you know.
Shady deals with shady guys in shady hotels is my MO.
I'm not scared.
Being fearless doesn't mean you're being safe.
Well, they're gonna be suspicious. Tell them you used to work with Anderson. You tell them Ernesto flew in for the meeting, but he got called back to the basement and he couldn't come.
You're not messing with me, are you, Hicks?
If we trust John, this guy's Black Ops NSA. Okay.
I was expecting someone else.
Ernesto flew in, but he was called back to the basement, so he couldn't make it.
Have we met before? You look familiar.
Did you work with Anderson too?
He's testing you. You tell him Peter met Anderson at New College at Oxford.
They met at Oxford. New college.
On campus?
Where they met? I'm sorry.
Peter, pull one out.
We met at the White Horse on Wheatley Road, you know it?
I was skeptical that you'd come at all. I thought it would be Paris all over again.
That was because of the French intelligence report. You know that.
True. But this is a larger purchase.
All right.
Conrad would like to see you. No.
Why isn't she calling the raid? Because Conrad's coming.
Yeah.
An antidote.
It would take you years to reverse engineer an antivirus.
Oh, is Hicks gonna freak out?
Uh-oh.
At least tell me who he was meeting.
Well, we're not gonna get that feed. Yeah, he's losing his teeth.
I need a name. Somebody, anybody else in your operation.
Nope.
Oh, no.
You're not getting it from Hicks. Pick a name, any name. Jones.
Okay, that's enough. Now just tell him.
Tell him I am not getting greased over Ernesto's dirty little secret.
What secret is that?
Oh.
Shut your mouth. Ernesto is sick. He's dying sick. You shut up! Get out of my face right now, I'm telling you.
Who are these people? According to them, Ernesto's sick.
It's true. He found out the day before Christmas.
I spoke to Ernesto this morning. Kill them both right now.
FBI! Put the gun down! Put the gun!
John Scott says hi.
All right, so we can
Turns out Conrad's a free
trust
citizen.
John?
As far as this department is concerned, he was a traitor.
That's all right. I know the truth. And that's enough.
She knows it in her gut.
Anyone here?
Why are we featuring the tank in the foreground like that? Is she going to go back in by herself?
Agent Dunham?
I was hoping you'd do me a favor.
Don't get hooked on it, Liv.
Even if you did go back in, even if you could reconnect, it would be for seconds, and then you would never see him again.
She wants it.
And we need to do this now.
She wants to say goodbye, if nothing else.
I'm sorry that I doubted you.
No, it wasn't your fault. I always meant to tell you. I guess I ran out of time. There was one other thing.
Yeah.
I know we can't ever be together. Maybe I won't know the difference.
I only like 85% trust him. And I'm trying to see that through the filter of network television. But remembering that this is a show that's like 14 years old. And he's gone forever. So presumably there's no point in ever going back in the tank at this point.
I love you too.
Okay. This show is doing a very good job of making us question our loyalties to our allies, questioning how much we can trust them. And it's not just John Scott that's the big question mark here, in my mind. You know, John Scott's a traitor. But I'm getting the sense with this show that it's never quite so cut and dry, so black and white. It's all a question of whether we're like Liv and we believe what John has to say in these conscious memories that we're sharing with him and Olivia. So, do we 100% believe it's an alibi that can't be verified because of security, national security? Is it that simple? Do we now trust John 100%? I mean, I guess it doesn't. If we'll never see him in the tank again, our opportunities to trust him are severely limited. But it comes down to trusting his case files, all the stuff he left in that secret bunker of his. So, yeah, you know, how much faith do we put in what he's doing? Is there really this NSA Black Ops group that involved him and Hicks and the guy on the plane taking down Conrad? Did they have other targets? It's all quite interesting, but it's kind of dealer's choice. It's viewer's choice here. How much are you willing to trust that? Because there's a level of at least in my mind, there's a level of ambiguity. That being said, this is 14-year-old network television, and story is a little. I mean, this is a gross generalization, but generally speaking, network TV storylines are a little more simplified than what we've become accustomed to in recent years on streaming platforms and premium cable and these sorts of things. So I'm trying to see it through that filter. There are exceptions, obviously, and this may be an exception. You know, J.J. Abrams shows certainly have a history of being complex and such, but at some point you just have to say, okay, that's the new truth, as opposed to here's new information, and do we 100% believe that? I know I might not be making. I hope I'm making sense. I might not be. I don't know. So, do we now 100% trust that John wasn't a traitor? I'm most of the way there, but I've got a niggling doubt that there may be a double cross coming down the pipe. But who knows? The other big question in my mind this episode is, how much trust do we put in to Broyles and Sharp? We knew Broyles lied to Liv back in that DEA episode where we found the first chip in the palm. And when he said that he was going to send it to the chip to the NSA, instead he sent it to Massive Dynamic. His explanation to Liv in this episode seems legit, although is it really feasible that Massive Dynamics technology is that much further advanced than the NSA's as far as decrypting whatever information may be on these chips? And what connection is there between this DEA agent who was deep cover and these NSA guys? And if they are all bona fide government agents working on the side of the USA's interest, I'm not going to say the good guys, because I think that's a very nebulous gray area on this show. But they seem to be working for government agencies in good faith. Then what's on the chips? And if these are government-issued chips, then wouldn't government have the ability to decrypt them? And why involve Massive Dynamic? Nina seems fairly forthcoming with information, except we certainly aren't meant to fully trust her, which by association makes us worry about Broyles, even though I strangely have more faith in Broyles than I do in Charlie, because Charlie is so trusting and so accepting that he just doesn't, like, he's such a good guy that it feels like too good to be true, and therefore I'm expecting a heel turn from Charlie. But again, I have to remember to watch this through the filter of a previous generation of network television, and sometimes there just might be really good guys on shows. Too good to be trues. Not everything is shades of gray. There are white hats and black hats in network TV. Those are inalterable truths. But yeah, I don't know. I'm doubting. Astrid's involvement in the lab there, when she basically told Liv to trust her gut, seemed not out of place, but we haven't seen her involving herself on that level up to this point. Astrid up to this point has basically been Walter's lab assistant. Plus she's a PA, she goes out for food. It's an underutilization of resources, don't get me wrong, and if we need to break a code or something like that, she's a linguistics expert and she knows her way around computers, and she's a jack of all trades that's useful to the team. But she shines a light on it and says, I'm sticking my nose out here, but she offers this advice to Liv to basically trust her gut. I think knowing that would prompt Liv to bring Hicks out of his induced coma and trust him, trust his aid to catch Conrad. I might be super overthinking this, don't get me wrong. I'm fully aware that I might be attributing way more sinister intent than is actually intended, and it's just let's write Astrid a nice scene to get her a little more involved, and let's have her smile because she feels involved. That might be the full extent of the intent of that scene. Or it could be... I feel like there's a reveal coming with Astrid. Why was she in particular, this junior FBI agent, selected to be part of this Fringe division unit with the bishops? I feel like there's some story there, and I feel like sooner or later we're going to learn about what that story is, but maybe I'm just like super suspicious. Maybe I'm just a cynic. Maybe I've been conditioned by so many shows full of massive twists and turns. I do have one question about this episode, though. So this virus that Conrad's selling turns people into giant porcupines that can't survive. The transformation will kill them. What's the value in that? Who wants to buy that? It feels like a pointless product. I mean, sure, for shock value, it's interesting, but I can't imagine there's like, ooh, this fits our evil organization's plans perfectly. I don't feel like there's much of a market out there for it, but sometimes we just sort of have to ignore things like that, or maybe I'm missing an obvious application to giant, soon-to-die porcupines. It was a good combination of CG and special effects makeup, though. Good kudos to those teams. Anyway, I'm overthinking. I feel like I'm spiraling down this never-ending Escher staircase. Anyway, I feel like this show's got a lot more of that to come over the next 4.5 seasons. I guess we'll just have to watch another episode next week. So until then, everybody, take care, stay healthy. We'll see you soon. Cheers. Dear God.